Quinn allowed back on the sideline?
He's a coach, absolutely.
You get back coach for him?
Stuff happens. In the heat of the moment, you're trying to get stuff fixed, stuff happens.
What happened on that play from your perspective? Obviously, they
tried to sneak a guy on late. Typical. I mean, it is what it is.
What is the rule on that? Like,
you can't.
when's the latest you can get a guy on?
Well, you can't have the intent to deceive inside the bench area. So if everybody's on the field and all of a sudden the guy comes onto the field late, the guy has to come inside of the numbers, then go back out to get set. If he doesn't go inside the numbers, illegal substitution, both flags come out, it's illegal. You can't do it.
Maybe just pretend like he doesn't know what he's doing, run on the field kind of deal. Like that's
illegal.
But
The way to do is what you did with Ingram last year, right? Just have him
on the field and he just stops outside the numbers.
Is Sam still supposed to see that, or is it not a player's fault that he doesn't see it?
No, he looked. He looked out there, and they brought him on late. I mean, that's the intent to deceive. Okay. You can't do that. That's why they threw the flag.
Did you have to holler, or they called it right away?
No, as soon as the ball snapped, both officials threw it. I mean, the guy that's standing there watching the gunner, he threw it, and then one of the line guys threw it.
And was the penalty a result of that? I assume it's you guys saying, hey, they're bringing an illegal guy on the field, and that's kind of what happened there?
Exactly.
Any feelings for you seeing the opposite uniform this weekend?
No. I mean, we're playing the Carolina Targets. It could be Kansas City, it could be whoever. I mean, in this league, I've worn a bunch of different logos, and whenever we play a former team, it's always good to see, the people that you worked in the building with, because this league is all about relationships. But as far as like any emotional feeling, no. It's another week at the office.
How's Chase doing as a coordinator?
He's doing a hell of a job. He really is. Chase is going to be, I truly think Chase is going to be a head coach in this league at some point in time. Chase is a phenomenal football coach. He's a great communicator. And you see his guys, they play extremely hard. You watch his units, they play extremely hard. I was super impressed with him when he was my assistant down there. And the sky's the limit for Chase. I love him to death, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Coach, you always talk about making the gumbo. Does the gumbo this week possibly include Dante Pettis as a returner? And what does Dante bring?
We got options. That's the one thing about, again, Dave and Joe, they did a great job of giving us options. And, Dante's been a returner in this league. Darnay did it last week. Darnay hadn't returned kickoffs since he was in college, so got a little crowd noise, right? We'll have a couple guys back there. We're working guys in practice, and whoever does the best job in practice, we'll have them back there.
What do you think of the job Darnay did getting thrown in there?
He did a really good job to be, thrown in at the last second. He's practiced it the last couple years, and he's shown a lot of promise in practice. You wish you had it blocked up better, for him, so you can really see what he can do out in space. But Darnay's a talented young man.
You mentioned all those options. Who are your, top few guys that you look at as potential replacements?
Yeah, we just talked about them, those last two. So, Pep, you could throw him back there. I mean, we got other guys that could do it. So, we're going to work the guys in practice. They all rotate, and we've been doing that all year. So it's no different how we've operated all year.
Do you expect this as Smith and Robinson get closer that you'll be their pathway onto the field at first?
It's always that way. I don't foresee those guys coming in and starting, but those two are two really good young players with a lot of talent, and we just got to work them in slowly and find out what they can do, see what they feel comfortable with, and let them go.
Was that a flag-happy officiating staff, or were you guys undisciplined on teams?
I wouldn't call it undisciplined, and I wouldn't call them flag-happy. If you really looked at the calls closely, I think Johnny Hecker needs an Academy Award. So I mean, and then in the situation with Keon, not Keon, but Cam, he's Russian, and then Keon, same thing, right? It's kind of got to have a situation. you're down by freaking 27 points. You're trying to make a play. You know what I mean? That happens sometimes. Sometimes you'll get a penalty when you're kind of, when you're pressing. So I wouldn't say undisciplined. I'd say we were probably kind of in a desperation mode. And that's just the reality of football, the football games, how they flow sometimes. You're trying to make a play at the end of the game when it's kind of out of hand. It's like that sometimes.
What do you think of Eli Penny finishing that tackle without his helmet on?
Say it again.
Eli Penny finishing that tackle without his helmet on.
You know what? It popped off. As soon as he made contact, it popped off. He made the tackle. That's Eli, though. Eli does a good job for us. He's a tough kid, and that happens. I mean, sometimes, those helmets, they pop off sometimes.
Tom, what have you observed about Joe Judge during this rough stretch?
Joe's our leader. We all look to our leader for strength. He's done a hell of a job, I think, of keeping the team moving forward. The one thing that as special teams coaches you understand is the only constant that we have in this league is change, and it's always changing. So you got to be able to adjust to the change. Positive, negative, you got to be able to adjust to it. And Joe's a tough guy. Joe's mentally tough, and he's doing a great job with our team as far as the leadership part of it, and keeping us pressing and moving forward and staying focused on the task at hand, and that's to win today. You don't have a chance on Sunday if you don't win today. So we're focusing on right now being where our feet are and just keeping moving.